Hi, Steve Draper here in my workshop in Bellevue. Today we're doing the disc sanding assignments for lesson 5 on the Shopsmith Mark 4, 7, and 520 self-study course. I'm going to start today with setting up for doing the disc sanding. So you can see here we have just the main table and our motor, and we're going to start by putting on the lower saw guard. And we'll tighten that up. Okay, we want to make sure that the quill is fully retracted. If it's out, make sure you bring it back, lock it in place. Make sure that your cover here, we don't want it closed. We need to have it all the way open. And tighten your 2 lock knobs. And then we're going to put on your 80 grit disc with sandpaper on. Put that on and tighten the set screw. Make sure it lines up with the flat. Okay. Now we want our table to be maximum height. We're going to loosen the carriage lock here. Slide the table over till it's about a half an inch approximately away from the disc here as you look down on it. And then we'll lock the carriage and we'll drop the table all the way till it actually hits that cover on the guard, and we will lock it in place. And now we are set up for doing our disc sanding. Also going to want to need the miter gauge. Want to move your safety grip because it just gets in the way if it's hanging out over there. And then we're going to hook up our dust collection. Now you're probably going to need one of these elbows for your dust collector to hose to fit on there properly. Okay, so we are now set up for doing our disc sanding. Now, before we do anything else, I want to go through a 7-step safety check. I'm going to check my motor lock, my tilt lock, carriage lock, the table height lock, my quill lock, and now I want to make sure that I have my wheels down so it's not going to roll around on me. And make sure that I've got nothing on anything on the auxiliary spindles. So we're set up for doing our assignments. The first assignment is to just take a touch off the end of each end of your board. Oftentimes you need to just take a little bit off, and that's what the disc sander is good for. So we'll go ahead. Got my eye protection on. It's up to you whether you have ear protection on this one. The motor's going slow enough speed that for me it just doesn't bother me, so I don't worry about ear protection at this low of a speed. Of course, make sure you set it for the disc sanding for 80 grit when you do your selection. So when I go through the process to set up on your dial, you're going to select that disc sanding, flat, sanding, softwood, 80 grit, and that's going to say 1450 RPM. So let's go ahead and get started. Turn on the dust collection. Okay, so that's your first assignment. Very simple, very short. Second assignment is we're going to round these corners on all 4 quarters on here. Now, the technique for doing that, we won't need our miter gauge on there for that, so we'll take it off. Technique when you want to do this is you want to pull the stock towards you, moving it across the disc as you do it. So I will start here and I will rotate that around to round off my corner. For the next one, same thing. I will start here. I will bring it back this way to do it. Making sure you keep your hands well away from that disc. Okay, let's go ahead and do assignment 2. There we have our second assignment done. That's rounding those corners off by hand. Third assignment. Third assignment, we're going to do a specific curvature that we want to have at each of those corners. And you can select any round object that you want to select. It's up to you. Just realize that the larger diameter you pick, the more you're going to have to take off. So I've got this item here. Let's see about how big it is. It's about 2 inches across, what this one is. So I'll have this against this edge, that against that edge, and I will draw my curve on there. And I'll carry around the others. Okay, so now they're drawn, and now we'll sand them. First one's done. Second one's done. Third one's done. Okay, so got all 4 of them done. Now the last thing we're going to do is we're going to clean off this disc with the abrasive stick right here. All we do is turn it on. You just want to slide it across. That's all there is to it. Cleans all the sawdust out, and you get a lot more life out of it. So that's the end of the first 3 assignments for lesson 5. There's one more. There'll be a separate video on that one, and that's where we're going to sand a 9.5 inch circle on using the miter gauge. So we'll see you in the next video.